Technology is constantly evolving, and talent acquisition has not escaped that transformation. I think if you missed that point this afternoon, you haven't been paying attention at all. Newspaper ads fell wayside, replaced by their already antiquated digital equivalent online job boards. Before long, social media followed, with LinkedIn, in particular, becoming the dominant player for sourcing. Next up, Skynet goes live. I had the pleasure of working with our next speaker, Jerry Collier, Global Head of Sales and Marketing, Alexander Mann Solutions, on a study we've just published that examines established early AI satisfaction benchmarks and plans for AI adoption in the HR industry. It also ascertains the impact on recruiting. Jerry?
I'm going to talk for 10 minutes about AI and research, a new topic for today. And I'm going to put up some charts in font size 2 to challenge you all at the back. If you want to come forward, please do. What an exciting time. What an exciting time. I've been in the industry 20 years. I think this is the time when we can finally put the recruiter back into recruiting. And HRO today and ourselves at Alexander Mann Solutions set off and embarked on a task to find out where we are in the industry with AI, its adoption, its usage, why are we deploying it, what return, what are people expecting from AI. I'm going to share just a preview of the research today. And at the end, there will be a link. If you follow the link, you can get the whole report. Okay. One of the things I want to say right up front is we're living in a very different time. I think we've talked about client is king, and we've talked about candidate is king. I think the client-centric and the candidate-centric thinking is old-fashioned and is gone. We're now in the engagement economy. If we aren't engaging with our colleagues, those internal colleagues around the retention, we've talked a lot about that this morning. If we're not engaging with the candidates over a period of time and developing relationships with those candidates, then I believe we will lose. So I believe we're living in an engagement economy. And that means we've got to do a lot more work to engage that talent. And I think that's really hard to do on a very limited budget or with a team with limited capacity. And therein lies the opportunity for AI and RPA, robotic process automation, to transform our operations and to liberate our recruiters and our schedulers and our administrators and our sources to do those value-added tasks. So is artificial intelligence in HR and talent acquisition just sizzle? Anyone seen the example here that Volvo did using artificial intelligence? Anyone seen it? This example behind? Volvo did a really interesting campaign. They were trying to recruit 50 personal service technicians. So they're changing the whole service model for their cars. The personal service technician was part customer service rep, part technical mechanic. And they thought what they would do is a creative campaign and get people to apply for the role. And then what they did was they set the car up as the interviewer. So the car actually, using image recognition, actually assessed every one of their candidates, and based on pattern recognition, actually informed the recruiter who they wanted as their personal service technician. Now, a little bit of a gimmick, I appreciate, and not everyone is going to set up their cars to go and find their mechanics. But we set off to find out, is it sizzle, is it hype? Where are we with adoption today? What are those early results? What are our expectations from AI? What are the use cases? And what have we learned so far on this journey? So we did this. We partnered with HRO today to do the Bits Don't Byte study. As I said, we can happily share the full report afterwards. Just a show of hands, because I know we're all really animated about showing hands. How many of you have actually deployed, not robotic process automation, but artificial intelligence in a use case in HR or talent acquisition today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about 20%. Great. These are the survey results. We went to 150 organizations, and we did some in-depth interviews as well. These are the most dominant use cases today already where AI is deployed. What this says to me is it's completely wide-ranging. All these use cases, there are more behind this in that other category. There's a whole range of use cases today already for AI. I think one of the interesting ones here is the contingent workforce, and I know we've got some conversations later around total talent and total workforce solutions. I think the opportunity to use AI in the contingent workforce is massive as we start to integrate the contingent workforce into our total workforce. We then looked about how long AI has been deployed in HR and talent acquisition. And I thought this was, if I asked you tonight over a beer when we're not being drowned out by the dueling pianos, how long you would have expected people to have been using it already, I think most people would say under 12 months. So the average time at the moment for these 150 organizations is over a year. And as you can see, some have been out there for quite some time now using AI. So it's not in that early adoption phase anymore. People have started, they've got going, and indeed, Alexander Mann Solutions, we hosted a Catalyst event in New York recently, and Ernst & Young came and talked, and Bank of America came and talked, some of our clients around their adoption, and the key message was just get going, just start experimenting, find a use case, find a small pilot, just get going and start. In fact, Ernst & Young, when they deployed their AI onboarding robot, who's called Buddy, they just put it onto their HR shared service portal without telling anybody, and they had 300,000 engagements with Buddy in the first week. So it's the spirit here is there is a whole bunch of people who have got out and got going, and there's 20% of you who have already started, which is great to see. But for the other 80%, let's be urgent, let's get out, and let's start. We looked at a whole range of other factors. We looked at regional variances. We looked at integration challenges for AI. We looked at where measurement is being used for AI today, which is the slide on the right-hand side here, as you're looking at it. We looked at a whole range of factors, which I'm not going to go through today, given I've only got 5 minutes left. 2 minutes, actually. So let's just talk about why people have set off on this journey. What were people's expected benefits from AI? Sondra earlier was talking about candidate experience and the experience for candidates and internal colleagues as well. And that ranks really high, that people are, one of their expectations from deploying AI, one of the expectations of deploying AI and robotic process automation to automate some of that transactional activity is to liberate the recruiter, put the recruiter back out in front of the candidate, put the recruiter back out in front of the manager, and actually improve the experience for all. And that's one of the big expectations here. There is an element here of reducing time to fill. There is an element of reducing cost, but you can see a wide range of expected outcomes from AI. Almost 70% of those people that we spoke to reported that AI has already had a positive impact on candidate experience. And again, I think when Alexander Mann Solutions is talking to our clients, we start from candidate experience and then work back through efficiency and time saving and cost saving, but start out front with a sort of qualitative measure around candidate experience. We then went and said, if those were your expectations, have they been met? I think I was astonished by this, which was that 91.9% of cases, AI has already met expectations. So if those expectations were improve candidate experience, drastically reduce time to fill. We're working on a 0 days time to hire model at the moment, which is quite a challenge. Reduce cost, that 91.9% of cases, it's already achieved that ambition. One of the things we found, so we have deployed chatbots and a range of other AI use cases. It requires far more training, the AI, than actually you might expect. So we have just launched another AI application, and the induction program for our bot in this case took us 6 weeks. And we were a little bit surprised that it took that long to actually get the basic information and get the basic training done. So I think one of the things we take away from there, whilst there are a variety of different use cases, that there is a range of different potential benefits, and it's meeting expectations, don't underestimate the training and the input that you're going to have to do to get this off the ground and get it launched. I think the other thing here is, going beyond our survey, is just a reminder or an interesting data point from Burson by Deloitte. Those organizations that use AI and other intelligent technologies in HR, an example being Unilever, where they've deployed machine learning for their own internal mobility program globally, they have an 18% higher revenue and 30% greater profitability than those that have not. So it's absolutely having an outcome in the business as well. It's not just about improving candidate experience. It's not just about reducing costs and reducing cycle times. It's actually having a dramatic impact in the business. This is just a preview of the report. We've done it's an extensive report. It looks at a whole range of different variables and at different factors in the resistance or the support for deployment of AI. If anyone would like a full copy of the report, please go to Alexander Mann Solutions. Just type into the search mask bits don't bite, and please download the full report there. Thank you very much.